Welcome back to Inspiring Hope, the community where we encourage one another to have only positive expectations through true self-care. Today, we're going to do part two of an interview with a young lady, Miss Monique Folks, who is the author of this book called Nowhere to Call Home. Look at that beautiful cover with that horse on there. I just love it. I love horses. But this is going to be a great session, you guys. And be sure and check out her book on Amazon.com. You can get it there. You can also download it. So it is an ebook version as well. A pretty good read for you. And be sure that if you have experienced trauma, or if you are a foster kid yourself, or you have been one in the past and now you're an adult, make sure that you check in with somebody in case you do get triggered. All right. So y'all know how we do it. Let's get it. Let's go. Be sure and download this episode, rate it, and share it with someone else that can offer them some hope and some help as well. Okay, before we begin again today, I want to just welcome Monique back to the show again and just commend her for being so courageous and strong and dedicated for a person who was never raised, shown love or how to nurture someone, or think she didn't have that for herself, but she was still dedicated and determined to provide that for other people to help rescue them. So I think that's really important. So thank you again for joining me, and you guys are going to just catch in on the second part of this incredible young lady. Something happens to you, you reach out and go find somebody else that you can love and care for and nurture and give them something better than what you had, which is pretty much what all parents, try. Well, not all parents, but most parents try to do. When you have kids, you want them to have better than what you have, or when you were growing up.
Right.
Yeah, whether that's physical things or relationally or spiritually, or whatever that may look like for that person. But I do want to go back and ask you for a moment. You had mentioned about how it was kind of difficult for you to have your kids around other men. And so what would be your, how did that play out in a survival mode for you, in a recovery mode for good men versus bad men, or, negative versus positive men?
I think I just kind of tried to fill them out, feel their vibe. I asked my kids a lot of questions, my girls. But that was the only way. I didn't really let them spend the night anywhere. They haven't spent the night at a lot of places. I only trusted maybe 2 family members.
Well, with you being in the system before, did you ever do things like background checks on them or anything like that?
No. On the men, no.
I used to always tell people I work with, make sure you do a case net on them, or do some kind of background check. I was like, same thing we do on like your parents, to see what kind of things they have in their history, because you kind of want to know. It's like before you marry somebody, you want to see what their mom is like and what their daddy is like.
Oh yeah.
Because
I understand.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I'm glad that though you're being careful, so that does show that you have some really great parenting skills right there, for one. So I love that. And then like, how does it affect you, like, or a child, when they run away from one bad situation to another situation? And what's the best way to approach them too? If you know somebody is a runaway, they tell you, or just tell us, how can we even notice those type of things for a runaway child? Or I should say a child that seems troubled. What are some of the telltale signs, so to speak?
I would say that those are the kids who cause the most trouble. They always say that it's the quiet ones, and it could be. If it is the quiet ones, they're usually not clean, probably hungry. But it's always the loudest child who's going through the most, I've noticed.
Okay.
They're hiding the most, the loudest one in the room.
Yeah. And is that kind of a way of crying out, like nobody is listening, or nobody's paying attention, nobody cares or loves me?
Or they need some attention, or they need somebody to love them.
Right, exactly.
I've noticed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what can be done for that child that can't speak for themselves or won't speak, because they think, or somebody may be threatening them? Or not even just threatening them, because we've had cases where people threaten your family. So, yeah. So what about that? What can be done for that child?
I think we're lacking mentors. We don't have especially female mentors. It's not like it used to be. We don't really have the two-parent household. Not that that would make it any better, but you know, we don't really have grandmothers anymore. That's kind of taken away. So I think we need mentors and keep them busy. And that's what saved me in one group home was all of the sports. I think I was on every sports team there was, but there's not even a lot of that to do. So how else would they be able to get out of the bad situation that they're in? Luckily, when I was running away, I ran into so many great strangers. It was crazy. Like my caseworker got me my driver's license and her brand new car. They don't have caseworkers like that anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. But you know, it just goes to show that God knows what you need and when you need it and when you're ready to accept it. So it's like even though some things are bad, you know, he can take a frown and turn it upside down. I always say that, but you know, it's like he takes your mourning and turn it into dancing. Even some of the most horrific situations that people have faced. I've seen just some awesome turnouts for people that have faced the adversity like you have, and then be able to still have faith. And but how do you find a space or a place or a time where you can even have time to have faith? Like you said, somebody took you to church. Who took you to church? You know, was that in your foster home or in your birth home?
Well, my mom, she stayed in church a lot. I kind of didn't believe in church. I steered away from church because when I was 8 years old and I told her that I had been molested, and she had a prophet tell her that I was lying, and I got beat for that. So I I wasn't really going to church, and then I went to one group home. There was a staff member who was taking me to church, and there was a prophet there who was like, I need you to sing a song and it's going to change your life forever. And I'm like, okay. So I sang His Eye is on a Sparrow.
Oh,
And
wow, one of my
yeah,
favorites.
that's why I was like, okay. And we went to get our hair done, our nails done. But when we got back, my mom had died that day. So
Oh,
I never sang
no.
again. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's been crazy.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear. How long ago was that?
I was 14,
Wow.
13, 14. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm so sorry. How did she die? Do you mind sharing that with us?
I don't really know. I think either it was heart problems or natural causes, one of those.
Okay.
But it was sudden.
Well, how were you able to handle that? Not, really being with her and being away from her, and then, and you were so young.
I was hurt because I wanted to go back home with my siblings, so to speak. I don't know how I handled it with her because I don't think that I let go of all the pain that she put me through until recently, maybe when I was like 35. So it was like a lot of running.
Yeah.
I was just told that I'm a runner. I run away from situations. So, but I just stay busy. I keep busy so that I don't think. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
And some of us, our brains do work like that. When we face things that we really don't want to face, we either, you've probably heard the term you fight, flight, or fear, or
Mhm.
you freeze. Some people just
Right.
don't do anything like,
I can't do that.
yeah. Some people just immediately like, that's the first thing is they're going to run. And then
Right.
some people just fight, it's just like, yeah. So
Well, I'll
everybody,
fight for I don't know how to fight for love, or I don't know how to fight to keep anything close to me, if that makes sense. I have really bad detachment issues. That's the only thing I'm fighting for right now.
okay, I do understand that. But that's
Yeah.
something that you're working through, right, in therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. And so, with that being said, what are some of the tips that you've learned to help you work through that, where you don't have those detachment issues, or it's really, mostly like you can't trust people, basically. Just
No.
that's let's just break it down like that.
Right.
Um,
I don't really have any tips yet. I'm just playing it by ear. I'm
okay,
trying. I think
okay,
I'm getting there, but I'm
yeah,
just playing it by ear.
okay. Well, let me ask you this: are you able to trust yourself?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to do anything to anybody that was done to me. I want to be better than how I was raised. I want to be better than anything bad that I've seen or that was done to me. Period.
Yes, yes, perfect, perfect. Well, that's absolutely awesome, that you've grown up with that. So with that being said, how can how can parents protect their children from these type of things, especially if, your kid reports this to you and then they're like, "No, you lying." What should they do?
I would say that you know your kid, but there's a lot of girls who lie for attention. I've seen it. So I would just have to say, you know your kid and do your research. I would at least take my daughter to the doctor. I would at least take my son to the doctor, and keep up with what they're doing. I keep up with my girls. That I don't play about. So like when I told my mom, she didn't even take me to the doctor. But that's like the only advice. Just really know your kids and keep up with your kids, know what they're doing. I'm a stalker when it
Yeah,
comes to my girls. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of good. I like that. I believe in having safety plans in place for different things. And one of them is, especially if somebody is trying to pick you up from school or, talking to strangers. I think those are some good things for parents to be able to have, have
Yeah.
your own code words, for your kids and things like that. But
Yeah.
also, just like you said, knowing your kids, talk to them on a regular
Oh
basis
yeah.
about what's going on in the world and what's going on with them, so you can know who their friends are, know where
Oh,
they hang out, where they don't want you to know about.
right.
I always saw it in my household, like, it's my household. Me and my husband pay the bill, so everything in this house is ours, and we should be able to look through anything and everything at any time we want to. So we shouldn't have any secrets.
Right.
So we don't have secrets between me and my husband. So why would I have secrets between me and a kid? So it's like, you're a child. It's okay. When they get older, they're gonna love being a child. Like, dang, I wish I was still a kid.
Right.
But a lot of times when you're kids, you can't wait to get grown and do this and do that. But
Hmm.
you don't know about all the responsibilities that come with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I want to thank you so much for sharing with us today, and I want to encourage each and one of you to grab this book, Nowhere to Call Home. In the book, she refers to a person's name, and I want her to tell us a little bit about that name, Camille, and where that come from. Can you share that with us real quick?
Well, my sister's gonna be so mad but she used to call me the wrong name all the time when she's like calling me. So she's like, Camille, come here. And I'm like, my name is not Camille. So I'm like writing, and I'm like, okay, Camille fits the book. But I didn't want to write it as a memoir. I wanted it to someone else to tell my story in third person. I think sometimes memoirs, people, they don't want to really listen about your life unless it's exciting, and it is telling a story. So I basically used Camille to tell my story, and actually it helped me out a lot because I kept hitting a lot of roadblocks when I was writing it myself. So me writing it as Camille made it better.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. I love the dynamic of what you said about the roadblocks and being able to use, another name for that as well. So it's like I can always just say, you know what, God knows exactly what He's doing,
Oh yeah.
because that's a way of like, okay, let me go this route instead of that route and make it a little
Hmm.
bit easier for you. So He always has a way of opening up your heart so that you can share it. But I want to, thank you again for sharing this and being so open and honest, because it's going to help, millions of people, who are able to get this book. And it is online, you guys. You can download it. That was my easiest way. I love that for you. So you can go to Amazon.com and check her out. And tell us one thing more. What else do you have? What do you have coming next for you?
I am working on a children's book because everyone knows that I love horses. So a lot of kids were trying to grab the book, and I'm like, no, it's not kid friendly. So I started working on a children's book, but my next project is basically talking about relationships in the foster care system and how it's hard for us to trust and all of the obstacles that I ran into in all of the relationships that I'm in. So it's called What She Sees, and that
Okay.
probably won't come out till next year.
Okay, sounds good. And
Yeah.
how can they get in touch with you besides Amazon.com? Like, are you on
Um,
social media?
I am. Um, my name is Monique Miss Diva. I was like, what is my name on social media? Yeah, it's Monique Miss Diva.
Okay. So you guys can
Um,
check her out there, Monique Miss Diva. And what about a website or anything, or is Amazon the website?
and my website is currently being worked on. My book blew up out of nowhere. I had so many people just telling me like, no one wants to hear your story, and it seems like it's been quite successful. So I am very grateful. So my website is being built as we speak.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we look
Yeah,
forward to hearing more from you, and I welcome you to come back and share a little bit more, because this is such a powerful subject, but there's so much to unpack in just
yeah.
a little setting. So we'll just have to make sure that we meet again. And thank you for joining us, you guys. Don't forget to make sure that you rate this, download it, and share it with somebody because it's going to help somebody.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so hold on. Oh, I can stop.